If you know what you want already, then it's really hard to do the things you don't want to do.
You found this passion at a young age, and then you kept kind of going with it.
Right now, I like filmmaking stuff is my priority.
Is there like one particular person that you greatly look up to?
When I was first starting, it was Peter McKinnon. I actually got a chance to work with him on set before. You just gotta be willing to work. Like, you gotta be willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And then when that opportunity comes, to jump on it.
Ready? Okay. Welcome to episode 4 of the inspobrew podcast, where we stir passion and sip innovation. The premise of this podcast is I'll be having coffee chats with inspiring guests who are living outside of their comfort zone. And I'm extra excited for this episode because the person sitting beside me is incredibly talented in a field I'm very passionate about, which is everything to do with filmmaking and content creation. I'd love to introduce you guys to Max Wentzlaff. He's a 20-year-old filmmaker, photographer, and editor, as well as a third-year student at the University of Waterloo, studying global business and digital arts. He's also the founder of a production company called Minty Productions that shoots music videos for artists as well as documentaries and other styles of videos. So not only is he a full-time student, but he also manages to work on his passion full-time, which is absolutely inspiring. How does he do it? We're gonna find out today. So Max, thank you for coming out and filming this with us.
Thank you for having me.
And also thank you for bringing your equipment, because not only do we have my camera right here, but we also have Max's, wait, is it A7?
S3.
S3.
Sony A7 S3, yeah.
Sony A7 S3. So it's filming Max, and this is really great because now we just have, now he's gonna be like more of the star of the show. We'll see him like full quality, like amazing quality, so perfect, thank you for that. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a little icebreaker. If you could describe yourself using one word, what would it be?
I'd say somewhat consistent, because there's been a lot of things that I've done throughout my life, and I tend to stick with it for a while, and then I guess I'd move on to or do something else. But I normally try to focus on one thing, get it done, and then move on.
That's amazing. Yeah, I would definitely agree, because I've been like looking at all your content, and you have really been consistent, and I've seen like so much like growth over like, so I guess this is a really great way to start the first question. How did you get into filmmaking?
Yeah, so there's no real like way you got into anything. I don't think the way I kind of sparked my interest was school projects. I did a lot of like all my school projects. I tried to be a little bit different than your just average like Google slide presentation. So I would do like a video of some, either just showing the Google slides or kind of make it into a little storyline. And then through that, I started to get more attention in class, and people started loving it. And I started making more, and as you know, I made a YouTube channel, which is not my best work, but nonetheless. And then from there, just kind of started doing more and more and more. And we did music videos and working with others, and now it's just kind of my full-time thing.
That's amazing. And when you said about like starting a YouTube channel, how you thought it was like, oh, like weird or like cringy, I feel like getting out there and this I guess cringy work is once you have like that courage to like show that work, you just like you like keep improving. And I feel like you had the courage to like kind of start like filming these videos. Did you like think they're like really good though?
Well, see, that's the thing. At the time, I didn't even know I wanted to do film. It was more so just something that was like, it was fun to do.
Yeah.
And I was getting like some nice exposure from it, and it was just kind of a little escape from everything else.
Yeah.
And then I kind of developed into, and it's actually funny, the more I got into actual film work, the more I kind of got out of YouTube, just because it didn't really.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I mean, did you have like dreams of becoming like a YouTuber? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, not like nothing specific, not like a Minecraft YouTuber or anything like that. I just wanted to do something that was fun. Honestly, I was trying to chase some like clout at the time.
Oh.
But yeah, like as you know, you've seen like the videos, they're like recorder tutorials. They're not like, I'm not really passionate about recorder. It was something that was funny at the start, and then it started to kind of pick up, so I just stuck with it.
Okay, yeah, because so with his channel, you filmed lots of like recorder videos. Wait, so why did you end up doing just like, you like playing recorder?
Yeah,
and then
So it's a funny story.
Okay.
So this was like grade 8, I think, was when I first did the first recorder tutorial, and it was to mask off, I think.
Okay. Oh yes, mask off.
Yeah. And I did that because it was just kind of it was a popular song at the time.
Yeah.
And we were in music class, and I decided to bring a recorder to class, and I learned it, and everyone thought it was great because it was like a really popular song at the time. And it was funny. I ended up performing in front of like the school assembly for no reason. I just stood up and did it, and then got like people loved it. So I was like, oh, let me just make a video on how to do it, and then that kind of got a decent amount of views. So then the next popular song came in. So I was like, let's do that one, and then, but it's funny because all of the videos I made, I didn't learn it myself. I would watch a video on how to play the song, film the video on how to play the song from what I just learned, and then get like double the views of them. Just kind of finesse them.
Well, that's amazing. So you took like what was like trending, you took a popular song and then you made a video, and like I feel like that was like a good like strategy that you like.
Yeah.
Do you think if you played like obviously not any popular songs, you wouldn't have got the same amount of views?
Well, no, and see that's the thing, because the target demographic, I guess, for that would be young kids who are learning recorder in schools.
Okay.
Because in America, and I guess in Canada too, you have to learn recorder.
Oh yes, yeah.
So that's why I was doing like popular like meme songs at the time, because
Okay.
all the kids would be like,
Yeah.
I want to learn that and show my friends. So, and then those are the ones that did the best, right? So
Wow, that's
just gotta
amazing.
know
That's
your audience.
amazing. Okay, so you kept filming these YouTube videos, and then what made you like motivated to take the next step into like professional filmmaking then?
I just wanted, well, I guess getting a new camera. It's like, oh, I gotta test this out better than just filming in my room.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do more things of that, and then I started to have friends who were also somewhat on the creative. I had a few buddies in high school who were into music, so I was like, why don't I film you a music video?
Yes.
And then again, as you know, that's kind of how it kicked things off.
Okay, so having all these like so friends who are into music, like, and because you loved like filming other people, then like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My main niche is filming others and like events and stuff like that. Like I don't know. But at the same time, that's kind of everything that is in film. You film people.
Yeah, true. But you just like you don't really like filming yourself now. You prefer like filming us.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
no.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't myself, no. That's why I'm behind the camera.
Okay. Well, okay. So what was the first camera you ever purchased?
So actually, the first couple YouTube videos filmed on my parents' old iPad.
iPad.
iPad 2 or something like that. It was great. And then the first camera I got was the Sony A6300.
That was the first camera you got.
Yeah, I saved up for so long for that. Was that the first? Yeah, because I had a buddy who got a Canon,
Okay.
and I went Sony because I got convinced by some guy at Henry's. And then, as you know, I'm a Sony guy, so I'm
Yes.
kind of happy about that decision. But yeah, that was my first camera. I had that for a long time, couple of years. And then I got the A7 III, the Sony A7 III, which at the time I got for a really good deal because it was right before COVID and everyone was buying other things and stuff. So there was a really good deal on that, and I was able to sell my other camera. So kind of balanced out. And then I just got this camera about a year ago, actually now. Yeah, so I've had it just over a year, but I'm looking to upgrade again.
Really?
Yeah. Sony's dropping a new, I think it's like the FX6 II or something like that for the Olympics in like February, March.
Yeah.
It's gonna, I don't know, I want it because it's super cool.
Yeah.
But it's also gonna be a shocking number of money, so I don't know.
But like, so all the money you make, you like cameras, like buying, like filming equipment. That's your favorite way to like spend your money. Then would you say?
Yeah. So I mean, in the sense of my thought process, which is probably just an excuse to buy things, is I'm in school right now.
Yeah.
And so I don't have like a house or any like bills to pay really that much other than like a car. So if I can just build up my my gear and my assets and stuff, so that when I'm out of school, I'll already have everything.
Yes.
So then I can just invest all my time and money into more important things.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, now let's get into Minty Productions. So, you like started with the channel, and then you're slowly gone into more like professional filmmaking, filming others, and obviously with that, like you had the chance to create your production company. So, like, tell me about that. Like, how'd you start? Like, why did you want to?
Yeah. So Minty Productions started out music videos. That's kind of where I got my niche. I knew that I called it Minty Productions because I used to be known as Minty Max
Uh-huh.
for a while.
Why Minty Max? Like, why Minty?
So that's a random story, but back in like early middle school, late elementary school, during Call of Duty days in Modern Warfare 2, there was like little like clans and stuff. So we were in the Mint clan, so everyone's name was Minty something. And then it just, I don't know, it flowed nice off the tongue, Minty Max. So I kept with it, and then that became kind of my name. And so then, I decided, Minty Productions, why not? And then started out just with my buddies, music videos, just for jokes and just to test out gear. Really, that was all it. And then eventually I got the opportunity to work with like an actual artist, and that's kind of what sparked everything. If I didn't get to that opportunity, had I have not gotten to that opportunity, I probably wouldn't have done anything that I've done.
Wow, really?
But once I got him, he had buddies who were like, "Oh, that was pretty cool. Can I get you to do?" But like my first videos were free and everything. Like it was not. I mean, looking back at it, it's you have to do it because that's what you have to do to get into the industry. But it's crazy just how far you can go if you just actually put yourself out there.
So with this, like, did you feel like got lucky with this opportunity? Like, how did you like meet with this like artist? How did this artist reach out to you, or did he reach out to him?
Yeah, so one of my friends who was one of the guys who I did videos for, this artist knew of him.
Okay.
They didn't do any songs together or anything, but they just knew the name. And I was constantly reaching out to the people, being like, "Yo, let me work," but I was getting nothing. But then this guy, one of the videos I did for my friend, it was pretty unique, and it caught his eye. He's like, "Who did that video for you?" And then said my name, and he got in contact with me, and then it was like the next day. I was like, "Hey, I'll come out tomorrow and we'll film something." And it was super just run and gun.
Oh my gosh, this is what it is, just like exposure, like, and like they see that you're really passionate with it, and like obviously people want to work with people that actually like really care about. Yeah. You
just gotta be willing to work. Like you gotta be willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And then when that opportunity comes, to jump on it and know when to jump on it.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I guess I was gonna ask what led you to focus on music videos initially, but you already talked about this. So, and how did the company expand to like? I know you said you also do like wedding videos and documentaries. I noticed like on your website there's like documentary. And then
so it's now it's kind of different.
Okay.
Now my actual like business is my name rather than Minty.
Okay.
I somewhat have two businesses.
Okay.
Minty Productions is kind of solely now music videos.
Okay.
And I've kind of diverted everything else to just like falling under like Max Wentzlaff.
Yeah.
So like for example, like weddings, documentaries, commercials, stuff like that. That would be more so under my name.
Got it.
But yeah, Minty Productions, it got me into that because it got me those clients. And originally I was going by Minty Productions, but then I made the switch to just go under my name for a couple reasons. One of them is because like I had to actually establish a business, like a sole proprietorship.
Okay.
So, and I knew obviously my name is going to be consistent, whereas Minty Productions, I could have like something happen in the future, and I didn't want to get into that now. And then it's also in the industry, for example, like if you're watching movie credits, it's like, oh, the cameraman, Minty Productions, like that's kind of weird, right? You got to go. So if you have your name, people will know your name, and then you can be like, and that's why all my music videos now, and just other things I want to put Minty Productions on, I'll do like directed or an edited or whatever by Max Wentzlaff, a Minty Production. So it's kind of, it falls under the Minty Production world, but it's still like, you can see my name is attached to it.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah. Okay, so in addition to filming music videos, what other types of genres do you like working on? And do you have like any genres that you haven't tried but want to get into?
So recently I've been getting a lot more into sports.
Okay,
I don't know even why that has been happening really. I guess it's because I've been working with a few other production companies, and one particular who does a lot of the CFL work, and then that's kind of had me in with that, and then that's kind of been a lot of my time now. But one thing that I know I don't want to do is get into the whole movie, like TV show world.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't interest me. I've been on sets that are huge, like 50, 100 plus people, and it doesn't really interest me. Like I want to be more involved in the process, and that's probably like why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. It's because I have pretty much all the creative freedom.
Okay.
Whereas if you're on a movie set, you're like the light, like not even like the lighting guy. You're like the fifth lighting guy.
Oh.
So
okay.
I feel like I have less of control. And then, so yeah, I'd say my interests fall more under the commercial, documentary, music video.
And like,
stuff.
okay, and like sports. So like, know like football, like you like, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
What's your sports?
I don't plan on staying with sports.
Okay.
Like, I don't want really to make that my career.
Okay.
It's super fun to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to work with these pretty cool people. But
yeah.
It was just like another thing where it's like, I just want to branch out. I wanted to test every field so I could figure out what I do and don't want to do. Right?
Yes, that's the way to go. That is so smart. Okay. So being a student at the University of Waterloo studying digital arts and business, how do you balance your academic commitments with running your own business and like pursuing your passion for filmmaking?
Yes, that's a funny one. It's really only been this year, like since like March, that stuff has actually been progressing enough to where it's like, I'm running out of time for things.
Yeah.
Up until then, I was able to balance school and stuff. But this term specifically has been an interesting term, to say the least. I've had to make sacrifices in the sense of, like I've talked to all my profs and all this stuff. They know that I do what I do, and I'll be like I'll miss classes. I've missed a lot of classes, but I've been able to make up the work. So it's kind of a trade-off.
Okay.
Right? You got to prioritize things.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I like filmmaking stuff is my priority. So it's like if I have class or it's film, I'm going to a film shoot. So it's kind of been weird because I've always been like an academic. Like I've always been really good at school and really, like both my parents are teachers, so they put me on it. But this year has been different. I've been willing to sacrifice a couple things school wise in order to like progress because I don't want to lose my momentum in the film industry for school, which isn't really going to progress me in my film world as much. So yeah, you got to make some sacrifices, and you just got to be willing to either take a lower grade or miss out on some information that you could have learned.
Yeah, because it seems to me that you're learning a lot more by like taking on these like projects.
Yeah.
And compared to like what you're like,
yeah, like you gotta learn, you gotta know what you like, especially if you know what you want already.
Yeah.
Then it's really hard to do the things you don't want to do because it's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
So in my case, school isn't really what I want to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Film is what I want to do. So if I can put all my time and effort into film, that's what I want. I probably would have dropped out had this have happened like a year earlier.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm in school, so I'm trying to take the most out of it. The program I'm in it has business side of things, which is somewhat helpful for me too. Yeah. So I'm trying to really take as much knowledge out of that as I can. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, try and balance it as best you can. If you got to lose some sleep, you got to do that. But depending on who you'd ask, they might disagree, but I'd say focus on what really makes you happy.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because, I feel like university is really great. Like, you're able to, like, try all these different things if you don't know what to do, but you're very fortunate to already have, like, you found this passion at a young age, and then you kept kind of going with it.
Yeah, that's definitely been lucky in that sense. Is I've known what I want to do for a while, whereas most people, even now, they don't know what to do. Like, they just kind of are just still, like, seeing things out, so that's been fortunate for me, but again, like even now, I don't know exactly what I want to do in film. So there's always more and more niches you can go down.
Yeah,
you'll never know exactly what you want to do.
That's so true.
But I guess that's also the beauty of it, especially in the film world. You're not doing the same thing all the time.
Yes, that's what's so great about filming because it's always like you're on your feet, you're always doing something, you're always working with new people. Yeah. But like it's just.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, instead of doing the exact same thing over and over, you're getting all these new opportunities. You get experiences you never thought you would have gotten.
Yeah, and also like traveling. We'll touch a bit like about like where you've been and all that. But okay, so the next question I want to ask is, so on your website you mentioned that you won the youth video contest at the Grand River Film Festival. That's like so cool. So tell me more about this. Like, what short film like you create? What did you create for this?
Yeah, so that was super impromptu in the sense of I didn't really know about this thing until a week before the deadline was due. So I submitted a video that I made a couple weeks prior to that. Okay. And it wasn't even a short film. It was just like I used to be really big into mountain biking and dirt jumps and stuff like that, and I have friends who are in that too. So I just filmed one of my friends in like the local forest where we built some trails. Oh, cool. And we filmed just like a little edit of him riding through the trails and stuff. Yeah. And then I just submitted that, and it won. So that was pretty unique. They reached out to me a couple weeks ago. They're turning it into like a little TV series. So all the winners have their own TV episode.
Just recently they reached out.
Yeah,
Oh.
so in January they're gonna interview me and stuff for TV, which is pretty cool.
That's so exciting.
But it's funny because it's not. But I don't even know how I won because it wasn't a short film.
And was this specifically for like short films? Was this like video or
It was like a youth video competition, but it's technically supposed to be
Honestly.
it's a film festival, right? So, but I mean, I'll take it.
That's
I'll
amazing.
take it.
See, this is, I mean, yeah, they saw like your talent, of course. And then I wanted to ask like a little follow-up. So how do you like approach failure and use it like as a tool for growth? Like, have you had any like instances where, you know, a project like maybe, for example, like didn't turn out the best? Like, how did you?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the film world, there's no really. I don't really believe in such thing as failure.
Okay.
In the sense of what you're gonna like. What's failing a project, right?
Yeah, true.
Other than just like handing in the towel and calling it, like.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. You'll hand in stuff that the client may not like, or you might have done something wrong, or you might have whatever. But it's all just like learning experiences, and yeah, because for example, if you were to film a video and then afterwards look back at it and say, oh, this is bad or whatever, at the time it was good, or if you know in the time, even now it's not good, at least you know that. So you know that you're failure, as long as you know you're failing, even then it's still good because you know you need to progress, and it'll hopefully push you to progress.
Yeah.
So again, like there's no such thing as really failure as much as just times like learning opportunities.
Yeah,
it sounds stupid, but it's true, I guess.
That is true. I feel like when it comes to videos, like failing is like, because like you say you may have failed, but like other people they have probably really like your video.
Exactly.
They're like subjective. It's all subjective. Yeah, yeah. As long as you know like, oh, what do you want to like improve on next, then yeah.
Exactly.
What artists, filmmakers, creators have inspired you the most? Is there like one particular person that you greatly look up to?
Yes. So currently, well, I guess, okay. So there's been a few. When I was first starting, it was Peter McKinnon.
Yes, okay.
He's been great. I've actually got a chance to work with him on set before.
Wait, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so there's another filmmaker who's another inspiration called Mark Bone.
Okay.
He does a thing called The Art of Documentary. It's like this little, it's actually really great if you are interested. It's a course for filmmaking and stuff. I did it for like last year. And he brought me out on a set, and I was like, what? That was super cool at the time because I was taking the guy's course and then he was going to bring me out. And then sure enough, Peter shows up, and then Matty Hapoya, I don't know how you pronounce his name, he was there too. So all these guys were just there. They weren't actively involved as much as just kind of hanging out around. But regardless, it was super cool just to say hi and stuff. But yeah, so he was definitely the main inspiration. Even now, he's still a super cool guy. Mark Bone, as I said, he's more, so I'd say Peter McKinnon is more so just a creative kind of like getting into stuff, getting out there, just mess around with things. And then Mark Bone got me into really filmmaking. He's a documentary guy, so he taught me a lot about storytelling and just camera techniques and stuff. And then in terms of just overall creativeness, there's a production company in the States called Lyrical Lemonade, if you know them. They do music videos. It's Cole Bennett, and hands down inspiration. Every single video is it's insane in my eyes. So he's he's always been my inspiration. I always wanted to be the Lyrical Lemonade of Canada, because he does all like the main artists of the States. So I'd always want to be him. But then in terms of movies, I'd say I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson.
Oh, okay. So, like his style and everything. Yeah,
I like that style a lot. So.
Wow, that's amazing. So many inspirations. Wow. Okay, so now we're going to go into talking about music videos and your whole process with that. So the first question is, how do you typically approach developing a concept for a music video? Do you collaborate closely with the artist, and how much creative input do they usually have in the process? Yeah,
so currently my main workflow is, for example, an artist will reach out. He'll send me the song. I'll ask him, I'll be like, do you already have a vision in mind, or do you want me to start brainstorming some ideas? If he already has a vision in mind, I'll work with him on that and kind of hone it in, because a lot of the times they're like, oh, I just want to do a super broad idea. And it's like, okay, great. Now let's figure out how we're going to actually make this practical. So then you work with them on that. If they want you to brainstorm ideas, then what I do is I'll just put it on repeat for hours and just write things down, brainstorm ideas. A lot of the time too, I'll just be scrolling on like, there's a thing called Shot Deck and like even Pinterest sometimes, and just like random image sources just to get inspiration and be like, oh wait, like maybe that style will catch my eye, and then it might spark something creatively. But a lot of times it's just kind of, I'll know really like pretty much right off the bat what style I want to do for something. Some songs, it sounds weird, but I'll see a color based off of the song type, and then that'll influence things. But then once I have something, or a couple things, I'll pitch it to them. And then we'll go back and forth until we settle on a idea. And then what I've just been doing recently, which has changed the game in my eyes, is so for the longest time I never used to do like storyboards or any of that, because I was like, oh, it's a waste of my time, I'd rather just go. And even now I don't do storyboards really, but what I do for music videos only, because everything else is a little too inconsistent, but for music videos, I'll bring the audio file into the timeline, and I'll use text clips, like text box, and I'll put them, and I'll match them on each cut. So I'll basically, and then in the text it'll be like, shot of blah, 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 and then next cut, shot of blah, blah. So I'll literally have the video completely edited before it's even shot. And then that way I know exactly what clips will go where.
Oh, so before you even have all the clips ready, you go and write text box?
Yeah, because so for example, I have an idea. And then I'll start creating a shot list. And then I'll know what shots I need to get, and then I'll put those shots in the timeline on where they need to go. So that way I know I don't miss anything. And I know, and it just makes everything so much smoother on the shoot day too.
And then you can just like put all the clips like in like on the timeline.
Yeah, you just put it over top of the text box wherever it goes.
Are there any times where it like changes? Like
all the time.
All the time.
It always changes, but it gives me a good like standpoint on the main structure and flow of the video. But again, it'll always change.
Wow. Okay. So instead of storyboarding, instead of like drawing and like sketching, it's always you start with the
I can't draw, so that's probably part of the reason. But it's mostly just like on the timeline, and I'll do that, or I'll just shot list idea wise. But yeah, like when I first started doing music videos, not first, but when I was kind of into it, there was a point in time where I was doing 1 or 2 videos a week, and it was some of the time it was really bad, honestly. I'd shoot a video, for example, on Monday, I'd be editing it the whole week, and then I'd have like another shoot on Saturday. I'd be listening to the song for the first time on the way to the shoot.
No way.
because I just had it, because I know the area, I know Kitchener, so I know where some like cool spots are. And at the time, those are the type of videos I do. I just be like, oh, let's just meet up at this cool spot, and I'll just film some like nice camera movements and stuff, and I'll figure it out in the edit. So I'll literally be send me the song, and I'll just type back, oh, that's great, let's meet here. But I wouldn't listen to it because I'd be editing the whole time, and then I'd listen to it on the way.
Wow, so it's like very spontaneous sometimes, like improvising.
It's just running gun style. So
that's a good good challenge too, because do you feel like a lot of this like comes very intuitively to you, like since you've like done this for so long, you can just like you know all the, like the shot types, you can just like
it more so came down to, I mean, the reason why I was doing that was because I just didn't have enough time to fully storyboard the process, which is not good, because you're not going to get the best videos, but it also pushes you to think on your feet, right? Because you gotta, a cool spot, all right, we're gonna film here, but you can't, like, it's gonna be boring if it's just like you're just standing in a field or something like that. So you gotta figure out how can you manipulate that either in camera or in post to make it interesting.
That's so cool. That's such a unique, that's actually such a cool process. Wow, that's amazing. And it's nice that it works for you, okay, so I guess you talked a little bit about this, but like what key elements do you consider during planning? And I guess how do you ensure your vision aligns with the artist's vision? I guess you just like talk to
I'll just talk with them. A lot of times now too, I'll heavily suggest we go with my idea rather than them, just because like I know how things are gonna work rather than them. But yeah, it comes down to just pitching the idea. If they also have an idea, I'll be like, let's just take a week to each brainstorm more ideas, and then we'll come together, just because a lot of times the first idea is never really the best idea. So
how do you choose your locations for like music videos? So you mostly, because do you also film like in Toronto too, right? Like your music videos, like Kitchener, Waterloo, Toronto, like.
Yeah. The majority of the time, if I can, I'll shoot them here. I just know the area. If I go to Toronto, then I'd say it would probably. Again, it depends on the type of video you're shooting, right? Like if it's a very run and gun like street kind of like grungy style, you're gonna look for the most like sketchy locations in town. So you're just gonna look like back alleys and all that stuff. But if you want to go something more creative, which is more so what I do now, is I'll rent studio spaces and stuff. So like there's things called like Peer Space and stuff like that where it's dedicated to finding places to rent for film.
Okay.
And then you look through the locations there and you find out which is the best or which one matches your vibe the best.
Yeah.
And then from there on out you just go with it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so music videos, they involve complex technical elements such as lighting, choreography, or special effects. Can you share like a specific technical challenge you've encountered and how you overcame it?
Oh yeah. So, okay. There's been an insane amount of things. Like, this is why I think music videos really made me the filmmaker I am, is because each video, since I relied so much on the edit, because it was all just like show up and film something and then fix it in post, I had to play around so much in like After Effects and everything to create elements that will keep it intriguing rather than just straight videos. So there's been times where it's just all that After Effects work I did. I used to do some like 3D stuff, so I tried to incorporate that somehow. Like there's one music video I did, and it took me the longest out of any of them. It was I composited fire effects on like trees and all this stuff. Oh my gosh. And that took me way too long for what the video was. But that one was probably the hardest because I had to simulate fire in the 3D program and then export it as like an alpha channel and then 3D track it into the scene and then composite it so it doesn't look fake. And I did that for like a 2 millisecond clip, and then you do that for like 200 of those, and it took months. It took like a month and a bit. But it was not worth it. It was not worth it. I mean, like, it looked cool at the end, yeah? It looked cool. It wasn't the best work.
Wait, can I I want to like put it on the screen for everyone to see. Like, is it on like is it online? Like,
yeah, it's on Six Buzz like TV or whatever.
Okay.
I'll send you.
Okay, sure, yeah. So this is like a challenge, but so I guess it's nice that you like. Okay, so nowadays you don't really like spend so much like effort like on the 3D.
Yeah, I tend to now because I know just how much of a pain it is. I try to do everything in camera.
Okay.
Or know specifically what effect I want to do in post and know how to do it even beforehand. So, or for example, like if I know I want to do this effect, but I don't know if it's gonna work, I'll just do like a test shoot on myself or on a buddy, and do a janky little composite of that. Yeah. And if it does work, then great. If it doesn't, I'll be like, all right, let's figure out how we can do this without that or manipulate it so it'll be different. Okay. Work better.
Okay, so what genres of music videos have you worked on?
So primarily rap, like hip hop.
Hip hop.
That's kind of where everything falls in. I've been wanting for the longest time to branch out because you can only do so much with hip hop, and there's not that much. Everyone wants to kind of have the same video.
Okay.
Like the Hoodmans.
Yes. Yeah.
With their boys, which is cool, but I've done it a lot now, and I want to do something else. So I want to get more into like the indie and pop and stuff like that. So I've done a few of those, and I'm planning on doing more. I'm in talks with some other like local bands and stuff. But I'm honestly, I'll do anything, and I want to do anything. It's hard to find artists who aren't rappers for some reason.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
But it's easier to pitch to bands.
Yeah.
Because at least budget wise, because instead of one person paying all the money, it's like 4 guys or something like that. They each pitch in.
Oh yeah.
So it's easy to market.
True. Okay. So have you filmed like bands then, or?
Yeah, I filmed a couple, 2.
Oh, did you also? Okay. You also film like concerts also? Like
2 concerts. Yeah.
Concerts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did Lil Pump. He was here earlier in September. So that was really cool.
Do you also like filming? Because music videos, it's more like staged, right? Concerts, it's just like you're just filming. Like, so which one do you?
Definitely music videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Concerts are cool if it's a famous artist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
Yes.
All concerts really kind of look the same.
Okay.
In terms of visuals wise, you can't really get creative with a concert other than in the edit, but.
Okay, so with this one, when creating music videos, do you focus on keeping it like budget friendly? And like, do you have any like budget constraints, or how do you? Because you're also students, so like, it's like you gotta Yeah, so
definitely at the start even, because people you work with have like no budget, and then
Okay.
obviously you want to profit something,
Yeah.
so you kind of you figure out ways to make it so you're still making money, but you're making something cool.
Mhm.
Nowadays it's different. Nowadays I'll specifically like there's like a minimum budget we need for a video, and then anything else will either come out of my pocket or I'll tell them ahead of time. Like for example, if an artist approaches me, I'll be like, okay, I can have full creative control, but it's going to cost you this much, or you just give me this much, and then everything else we need, we'll figure out how to like incorporate in the budget. For example, like I don't know, if you need to rent a studio, it's like, okay, let's split the rental costs, or you cover all the rental fees, and then you can pay me less. It's like there's ways that you just have to know
Like
how to
negotiating.
Oh,
also, so lots of negotiating. You have to like learn how to like negotiate.
Yeah,
Like market.
and you just get to the point where some videos aren't worth it for the money.
Okay.
And there's better things you could be doing with your time, so you gotta say no.
So there are times where you like said no. Then.
I'm so bad at saying no. So.
Yeah, how do you say like what? How do you say no?
It's bad. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I'm busy, and I'll just say that for like months.
Okay.
But and then other artists, you'll get a song and it'll be so bad. You're like, I really don't want to shoot a video for this song. So at that point, you got to be like, oh, okay. Or you could just super upcharge them.
Yeah.
And then if they bite, they'll be like, okay, I'm just getting way more money. Or they'll be like, no. So I don't know. I'm really bad at saying no. Though, so.
Hopefully you'll be able to like get better at that as you go. Okay, now we're gonna go into GVDA program, a little bit of that. What motivated you to pursue the Global Business and Digital Arts program?
Yeah, so at the time, even then, I didn't fully know film was my like niche. Yeah. Because I was also interested in like 3D stuff, like VFX and stuff. And I knew GBDA was pretty diverse in that. And you also get business. You're not just locked in on one niche. You get your arts, but then you also get your business, which is pretty nice. So that's why I went.
Yeah, and so honestly, like I feel, because I was in the program too, like first term, fall term, and then, like what interested me was like also like the video, like it was lots of like, so there's video, there's like website, you get to like improve on like so many like parts of like digital.
Yeah, it kind of it's great in the sense that it gives you a little introduction to everything.
Everything,
Which is good and bad. You gotta be careful with that because it teaches you to be like a jack of all trades.
Okay.
Which is good until you gotta figure out what you're gonna do, and then at that point you gotta like you're always gonna end up doing one thing, whether it's a broad space. You're not gonna go into a field where you're a graphic designer, website designer, filmmaker, photographer. Like you can't really do that. You're eventually you're gonna fall into one.
Okay.
Which is why, in my eyes, GBDA is a really, really good program for people who kind of know somewhat what they already want to do. Not already want to do, but they know what like field they want to go. Yeah. So it could be business, it could be graphic design, it could be film. But if you don't know what you're doing at all, hopefully GBDA will either help you find what you want to do, or at least it'll kind of it'll show you all the options. But if you know what you want, you can really hone in and use that to your advantage.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so I was gonna say like how this program aligns with your goals in the film industry. Does it kind of align with your goals? Because are you really getting like are you doing any projects now? Like are there, for example, any video projects you've like done that you've really like been proud of and you like want to put on your portfolio or like have it helped you?
So all the video courses in GPDA happen in first and second year.
Okay.
So I'm in third year. Yeah. And fourth year doesn't really have any. So it's kind of like, I don't know, but I'm taking an elective next term, which is a second year course, which will allow me to do film. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay. But there has been some things that I've put onto my portfolio. Yeah. But a lot of the time it's more so just kind of another way to get creative with things and not have to like worry about like expectations from the client or whatever.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so what like have there already been like skills and knowledge you gained from the program that have been directly applicable to your work in your own work in like Minty Productions in the film industry in general? Like what skills did you gain from this from GPDA?
Well, definitely the business side.
The business side, okay.
That's been great. It's been helping me understand more things in that sense. Yeah. The few video classes that I've taken, it's definitely like it's taught me some things that are also very relevant into the film just like based off of like lighting and like framing and stuff like that, compositions. But overall, like I kind of knew a lot of the stuff going into it, so it's more so just a way to just play around with things like even more.
Yeah. And also, would you say you were also like very like so self-taught in a lot of the things that like YouTube, like courses, you took a lot of stuff, just experimenting too. Like I feel like that's just doing it yourself.
It's you gotta, in the industry you kind of have to learn it yourself. You're gonna you can learn principles and like different things, but you're not actually gonna learn it unless you apply it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where music videos were great for me, because I was doing so many of them all the time that it was just each one I got to play around with like a new trick. So it's just constant. And if I didn't do that, I'd still be out just figuring out ways to film. Even now, like I'm working on a project. It's not for anything. It's just for myself, but it's just new little techniques to mess around with.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's great. Yeah, and I feel like you can only go so far with GVDA or like just programs in school. Like if you really want to take it to the next level, you have to like take a little bit more initiative and like take things into your own hands in a sense.
School's good for getting you either connections or just things to put on your portfolio. Yeah. But nothing's gonna come out of it if you don't actually put yourself out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll talk more about like networking and a big role it plays in like the film industry later. But next one is so. Were there any like, internship experiences that you've been a part of?
So
During GVDA?
So we have an internship. So our year was the last year where there's a paid internship. It got moved to a co-op now.
Okay.
So we get an internship this coming summer, so third year and fourth year.
Okay.
It's actually posing a bit of a problem for me, because in the sense of your normal paid internship, you just work at like a company like a 9 to 5. Yeah. Which I don't want to do, because that's going to kind of screw up all my own business side of things. Yeah. So I'm trying to work around that, which has been very difficult because people they're not used to people already kind of having their things going. Yeah. So there's a new thing called like an e-co-op.
Yes, I've heard of this.
You know that?
Yeah, I know this e-co-op, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm really
talking about that because I just heard about it like last week. So
like I don't know much. I only know like that it's like I know a few people that are doing it, and they're also like very into like their own like businesses. Yeah. Oh, one of my friends actually interviewed her on the podcast. She's a chess player. Okay. So right now she's doing an e-co-op. So she's like building her chess business, and so she's right now in Montreal. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to know more about this because that's like the only option right now that's kind of.
This is good. This is a good option for you. This would be. I think this is amazing. Plus, if you're gonna be, I think there are like some like requirements you to hit. Like obviously you have to make some sort of like money through it. Like but like you're good with that.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've been trying to be like, can I send you like invoices or anything just to prove that I'm not just sitting around?
Yes, no, for sure. E-co-op is good.
Okay, that's great then actually. Because up until now it's.
Because you're stressed about it, like
Yeah, because I mean I don't want to, because I need that credit. But I'm not trying to screw over what I have going so far just to fall back. So I don't know. But that would be good actually.
Okay, so how has this program like helped with like networking opportunities within the film industry? Have you like been able to connect with professionals or mentors who have given you like valuable insight? Yeah,
so there's 2 video profs in my program. One's a guy named Terry. He's been great. He's passed on some clients to me to film, and like we've worked on things in like side by side. Yeah. And then there's the other prof who he actually referred me to this local director, filmmaker, KW, and I connected with him, and he's actually got me some crazy opportunities, and I work with him all the time now. Yeah. So that's been great. That's that one connection that film prof got me has definitely made me be able to do a lot of things this year. So I've been really grateful.
Okay, so yeah, because of this film connection, then through this, it like kind of like went into like it like kept expanding. So this one person, and then like the next person, you more. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's amazing. So I guess the GVDA program is like really great then too with like networking then. Like
it's great. But again, like I kind of had to.
You actually had to
jumpstart that. They don't just go around giving you connections and stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah, keep that in mind. Like if you, networking is great, but you actually have to like talk to people and Yeah, you got to network to network.
Yeah,
network to network. Yeah, exactly. So just step outside your comfort zone, because I feel like you've really like had to like step outside your comfort zone in so many things, right? Like for this.
Yeah. No, like again, you have to. So this is funny. I don't really drink coffee,
Okay.
but in the film industry, you go meet up to grab coffee and talk. So there's been tons of times where I just meet up with random like directors and stuff. Like, let's go grab coffee. I'll just be there sipping this coffee that I don't like, but you do it because you get the connection. Then you get the guy's phone number. He might bring you on some shoots, and so you just got to do things.
Okay, well, good we don't have any coffee here, because I was like thinking of like adding like coffee. Because
you should. I was gonna ask you. I was like, well,
I know. Natalie asked like, where's the coffee? Everyone's asking like, where's the coffee?
Yeah.
I was thinking of having like 2 mugs, and I have like the logo. But at first I was thinking of like just like going and buying coffee for the guest and like the 2 coffees, or should I have like coffee mugs?
You should just you're just giving them like coffee beans or something? No, I think you should have like mugs on the table.
Or just fake mugs, like just mugs without coffee, or like maybe water in it. So okay, coffee. So I have to really think.
Drink some coffee with this podcast.
Yeah. At first, I was actually thinking of doing this in a coffee shop, in like different coffee shops. But then obviously that's a little impractical, because people, there's like, I don't know if the owner would. Like,
yeah, but I bet you there's some small coffee shops around town that will let you film after hours.
I actually.
You just gotta put yourself out
exactly, because I'm not really doing that enough. Because this location, like, it's great, but it's not reliable because there's so many people and.
But I mean, if you approach those coffee shops, you just gotta know what to ask them. You gotta be like, this is not only gonna be good for me, it's gonna be good for you. Oh my gosh!
Wait, exactly. I could promote the coffee.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm really gonna have to think about this.
You just gotta play into what they.
This is good. Okay. I will do that. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. So now we're gonna go into the creative process a bit, and the first one is, where do you draw inspiration for your creative projects? Just like through like various like just media, like social media.
Yeah, probably a lot through just like random reels and stuff on Instagram. Like my feed is a lot of just film stuff, so I'll just be like, well, that's kind of cool, save it and stuff like that. Also, the directors I work with, like they have completely changed my outlook on things, because now I understand their workflow, and I could never imagine how they would have got that shot, but then working with them, it's like, that's how you got that shot. So I just kind of mimic their style, and that would change my style.
Okay, that's amazing. Do you remember a specific moment or experience that sparked an idea for one of your projects? I guess you just said like with the director, like you see,
Yeah, I guess. There's been a lot of times where I'd get a new piece of gear, and it would just be like, what can I do with this?
Oh, okay.
Or for example, time of the year. Maybe winter. How can we play with the snow to make the video interesting, or the fall?
Just like things around you.
Again, shots, or music is heavily influenced, regardless if it's a music video or not.
Yeah.
I'll revolve anything. I used to produce music back in the day. Like I used to make beats and stuff.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
all of this is what no one knows about a lot of my videos, but the audio tracks, the edits on the audio track is sometimes more than the edits on the video clips. Just because I do a lot of manipulating on the audio to make it fit the video.
Oh my god!
But like no one would know, because they're just like, oh, it's a song. Yeah. But that song did not sound anything like that when I first got it. Wow. So
knowing how to like also like edit the audio and like.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, there's so much going into this. Okay, so can you share filmmaking obviously involves lots of like pushing boundaries and trying new things. Can you share a project or moment where you felt you were truly living outside of your comfort zone? Like where you were kind of like nervous to do it, but then once you kind of did it?
Okay.
So I got the opportunity to work as a live camera operator for TSN and the CFL to shoot like a game.
Okay.
And they had me on the field, and it was an insane experience. I got to wear a backpack with like a whole wireless kit in. I had a headset. People were like screaming in my ear, telling me where to go, what shots to get, when my camera was live and stuff. When I was first doing it, was super I was so scared. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, the feed might have like disconnected, or it would have been my fault that all these viewers would have been left with some bad video. But I mean, once I started getting into it, and I was on the field with the football players and stuff, running on the field in between plays. Oh my god! You just get an adrenaline rush, and it's super fun. But I was nervous.
Was this like your first time then doing something like this? Did you get like a little training beforehand, or like you just?
It's funny. They thought they do this all the time. They're like, oh yeah, so we're just gonna put this on you. You're just gonna go at your shots, right? I'll be like, okay. Right.
Oh my god! You faked kind of like you faked it till you made it,
Yeah,
kind
exactly,
of thing. Yeah.
exactly.
So, and the main shot. This is for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Their opening when the players like run out on the field. They start down this tunnel, and it's pitch black, and there's smoke machines going, and then like there's lights flashing, and you can see the silhouettes.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to get a cue in my thing, being like, okay, start pushing out now.
Yeah.
But the audio feed disconnected for everyone. And I didn't know when to go because they were waiting. Like I was just there waiting until something would tell me to go, and I'd start backing up, and then the guys would start coming out, and I'd follow them in. But again, I didn't know when to go,
Oh my god.
and I couldn't see the guys coming because it was pitch black and there was fog everywhere. So it was funny though because I could hear in the stadium a new song play, and I'm like, this has to be it because I've been staying here for so long. So and I just started moving back, and sure enough, the guys came out, and they didn't even know the feed disconnected. They're like, you went out at the perfect time. But that was brutal.
That's like
I was
really
sweaty.
stressful.
I didn't know what to do because I was like, oh, do I go somewhere? But I don't want to miss the clip. So that was pretty bad.
Well, good. The timing was like right though.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, because that was the one camera that could be in the tunnel with the guys, because no other cameras in the field could get that shot. So it had to be my camera. So it was getting shown regardless if I was doing it or not. So, but
Oh my god! Wow.
that was terrifying.
So creativity can be a very challenging process. How do you overcome creative blocks, and are there specific strategies used to reignite inspiration?
So recently, I've discovered you can use ChatGPT to get a lot of inspiration of things. I honestly don't use that much though, because I constantly have things going. Like right now, it's pretty easy because I'll just get a new person asking for a new type of video, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta figure out a way to do that.
Yeah.
But creative blog is brutal. I think you just gotta. For me, I've overcome it by just getting inspiration offline. Like I wouldn't be looking for it, but something would pop up like, that's really cool, or a new video would come out, or something new would happen, and it would just pique my interest.
Yeah.
But then there's also times where you just gotta like film something. And be like, you don't want to. You'll film it. It'll be bad. And you'll hate it. But for me at least, I would do that. I'd look at it. I'd be like, this is bad. I can't be filming like this. So then that would push me and motivate me to like figure out how to not film bad.
Oh, okay. So actually, like filming, because like some people, like if they have like creative blocks, they kind of just step away from their craft and kind of just try not to think about it. And when you're not thinking about it, that's when like your idea starts to come. But for you, you actually have to like start like filming and actually doing it.
For me, I just have to do a different style of something. So like a lot of times I'll just meet up with some buddies, and we'll just walk around town, and I'll just film random things or take photos or something like that, just to get out of that same space that I've been in, trying to do the same thing over and over. Just have like a chill film thing without any pressure and stuff. That's done it for me. I know I do know that whole step away from things, but I'm too restless. I can't do that. I'm not like, I just want to keep filming things. So
that's really good advice. So anyone like filming videos, just like, just start like, have it like, cause usually when you're filming videos, you have like a specific like vision or goal in mind, but just try taking out your camera and just filming for absolutely no reason. And then you might, something might spark. That's good advice. Okay. Now we're gonna go into the editing process, because editing obviously, like, for example, when I'm like, a lot of the shots I take, like they can be really bad, but then I'm so happy editing exists, because like editing can just turn any bad shot into like something amazing. It's just like the magic happens in the editing process. Okay, so what editing software do you prefer to use?
DaVinci Resolve.
He's Team DaVinci.
It used to be Premiere, and then it crashed way too many times, and then I discovered this new program called. And it's mainly because I want to get into color grading, like really locking on color grading. Yeah. And DaVinci is just. Okay. That's where it is. This is where it's at for color grading.
Yeah, I heard color grading is the best.
It was different. It was kind of difficult to switch.
Okay.
But the way I did it is I didn't just be like, all right, one day we're going over. I'd still edit the base cut in Premiere. Okay. And then it would take everything so long, but it would I'd re-edit it based off those exact same cuts in DaVinci,
Oh.
or I'd export the clips individually
Yeah.
because in Premiere you can select all clips and just do export individual clips,
Okay.
and then I
Okay.
just drag those into the timeline. So I technically had a cut in DaVinci, and then I'd color grade it in DaVinci,
Okay.
and then from there it just kind of, I was like, why am I doing this? Let me just try and do it in here. And then if I didn't know something, I'd go back. It was kind of annoying though, because Premiere and After Effects they work so seamlessly together because you can just go right back and forth. DaVinci you can't, obviously. So if I wanted to do an effect, I'd have to like export it an individual clip, bring it in, export it again, bring it back. So it made everything a lot more tricky, but
So it works for you, it's fine. So you still do that. So you still like using After Effects then like for like animations and all that, like.
like you can do that in DaVinci, but I never really got around to learning that.
Yeah.
And I'm just already really comfortable in After Effects, so I might as well stick with that.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I guess like it's trickier, but I guess it's worth the.
I mean, to each their own, right?
Because.
But it's definitely there's certain things which are
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they do it. Like some of
Yeah.
the like, I could show you some of the color grading stuff. You can like the noise reduction is crazy.
Okay.
There's like AI audio reduction.
Like noise
On
reduction.
DaVinci.
Yeah, there's
Wow. Okay.
the stabilization. I know like there's warp stabilizer in Premiere,
Yeah.
which is it works fine. But when you compare it to DaVinci's, it's like
Really?
because sometimes you get that like weird warpiness
Yes.
in Premiere. You like, yeah, you don't get that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because the one thing that's like stopping me from using DaVinci is that like I become so comfortable with the Premiere, and then also After Effects too is just like it's just better integrated.
It's also
with
where
Premiere.
it's also where the industry is headed.
DaVinci. Really? Oh, that's really good to know. So wait, so then if you're working for like if you're working for a company, they like prefer DaVinci over
Yeah, so
or
honestly a lot of people don't care,
okay.
but the production companies that do care have been in DaVinci
Okay.
in the sense of like there's
Oh,
I mean they
okay.
don't, it's not that they care, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, can you send me the project file, and they use DaVinci, so I'd be like, oh great, you use DaVinci.
Okay.
So there's like, again, no one cares because like when you're working with people who are like really good at stuff,
yeah.
they know all the softwares, so at the end of the day they don't care. They might ask you
Uh-huh.
to, if you can, do it in DaVinci.
Okay.
But definitely, if you ask the majority, like if you just ask a random person in the industry right now, I bet you they use DaVinci.
Plus, it's free too. Do you have the? Did you upgrade to like? Wait, what is it? Matt? What is it called?
Studio?
The studio. Did you? Okay, a studio is like gives you more. It's better than.
It's. I mean,
Or-
see, I needed it because you need the studio to edit anything higher than 4K 24.
Oh, okay.
If you do 4K 60, you
Yeah.
can't do it, or 10-bit.
Yeah.
You can't do, or like 8K. You obviously can't edit those in it.
Yeah.
So like when I started to work on, like, get footage like that, I kind of had to.
Okay.
And also you unlock crazy features like that, noise reduction and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but you don't need it. Like,
Okay, I don't need
you
it.
don't need it. Unless you
Okay.
go, unless you're working with some like really crazy stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess if you want to start like improving your filmmaking and like just getting to the video, that editing, then try DaVinci. I need to do that too myself because it's the coloring especially. It's so confusing. How did you learn it? Like YouTube videos? Do you watch
yeah.
YouTube video
Yeah.
tutorials?
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's just playing around with things.
Yeah, playing
like
around,
even the
yeah.
color still now. I don't know what I'm doing. I know like
Okay.
the things that will do the things I want, but it's
Yeah.
like I could be doing this wrong. I just have
Okay.
I have a workflow.
Yeah.
It's been working. The color grades look good enough.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure I could put more into it, and I definitely want to. Like, I want to get way better color
Yeah.
grading still, but it's just it's a
Yeah.
different workflow, right? So your nodes
Yeah.
instead of your layers.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yes. Yeah.
it's-
The notes. Yeah. What's your favorite and least favorite part about editing?
Least favorite is okay. Well, it depends. One of the I have probably like two least favorite. One of them is finding music, because
Yeah.
although like I'm manipulating so much, there was one project I was working on for the Perimeter Institute,
Okay.
and it was a 10-part series, and I had to get new like at least 2 audio clips for each 10 episodes, and they all had to be similar. But I'm so picky with audio. I like each of them probably took me 2 full like days of like 8+ hours at least of searching for audio before I found something. And even then I was like, okay, I gotta fix something.
Mhm.
So I hate picking audio until I find a good song.
Yes.
But that's brutal. And then also just the longer I'm with an edit, the much like it's just like, can we just get this over with? So that's why I try and get the edit done as quick as possible, or that's why I like try and plan stuff out really well in the pre-production phase, so that the edit isn't as tedious and long as it has to be. But then what I do like about editing is, like you said, making something that, like, if I was like thinking of my editing is, if I was given this footage and someone else was given this footage, how could I make mine be like way different and stand out?
Okay.
That's kind of how I think of things. And then it's just being able to see the end result from just your raw footage. I just love seeing like the difference.
Yeah. Right. It's like an accomplishment in itself. Like you see.
Pull that together.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Right. It's crazy. It's so rewarding. I feel like that's like the most rewarding part about like making videos, is just seeing the end product. Yeah. Would you describe your editing style? Are there any like specific techniques or approaches you consistently use to like give a certain look or feel in your videos?
I definitely like faster pace edits,
okay.
just because it keeps people interested.
Yeah.
Obviously it depends on the style you're going for.
Yeah.
But I definitely like quicker cuts. Camera movement. I used to be really big on camera movement, but now I'm actually getting more into just more like locked off, like more thought out on the composition rather than the movements itself.
Okay.
What else? Editing style, probably. I'm moving into the less is more phase.
Less is more.
When I was doing the music videos at the start, when I was relying heavily on the edit, I was like, what effects can I do?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time the effects would be super corny or whatever, and it would almost ruin the visuals. So now I'm just, if I can really nail the look, that speaks way more than that.
Okay, because right now I feel like that's what I'm like struggling with. I'm trying to like make it like super, like all these edits super like kind of like almost chaotic, but no, like less is so much more like minimalistic kind of.
Yeah, people really don't care if you have like crazy like effects on all this stuff.
Yeah.
But if they see a good image, they'll be like, that person is really talented.
Okay.
So yeah, like, my advice to you would be focus on getting a really good out of camera image.
Out of camera.
And then I guess color grading along with that.
Yeah.
And then the edits, you won't even need them.
Okay.
They just become stylistic at that point.
Wow. Okay, so you would recommend then kind of trying to get like a good like shot and not relying so much on like the editing and how.
Yeah.
That's
Focus on your compositions.
Yeah, compositions. Okay.
And I mean, I'll say this to you. You don't have to use it yet or whenever, but rule of like just like break the rules in the sense like your traditional rule of thirds. You want them to be in the one corner and then all that stuff, but just try doing random things. Like I like putting people like super far at the bottom of the screen, or just like at like a Dutch angle, like tilted, or just get kind of weird with it, and then from there you can definitely create like a new style.
Get weird, guys. Okay, get weird. Get weird. Okay, what does your typical editing workflow look like? So are there any specific steps you follow from initial cut to the final edit, and how has it evolved over time? You kind of talked about like the storyboarding, how you storyboard on the timeline.
Yeah, so I didn't used to do that, but now I do that. But it's only really for music videos. So like I'll always shoot for the edit. Like I'll keep in mind exactly, like I'll have an idea. Even if I don't know what the edit is, just because I know based off of editing a lot of things, I know how the clip is going to affect the edit. So you got to shoot with that in mind on whether it be where you think it can go or how it can match other clips you've gotten so far. So you got to shoot for the edit. And then in terms of editing workflow, again, depends on what I'm doing. For example, just like, let's just do your traditional like compilation edit. I'll bring literally every single clip into the timeline, so it'll be like a couple hour long timeline, and then I'll go through every clip and I'll just cut out the part, like a part that's like, oh, that could be good, and I'll drag it up in the timeline, and I'll do that for every single clip, drag it up, and then I'll delete all the bottom, so then I have a filtered out of all like the good moments. And then from there I can start formulating like a little storyline. I'll use like little like markers in the timeline to like divide sections of the video, but I edit based off of the song, so I'll find a song, and then whatever structure I can get from that is what I'll go with. Song is like similar to me too. Like it's like once you find the song, then it's just like That's why, like, if I
Mhm.
can, I'll hopefully find the song before I shoot,
Yeah.
because that'll influence the style.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of times, a lot of the times you don't have that
Mm.
that access. So
You just gotta.
Play it by ear and
You
like
gotta
just have to
play it
like.
by
and just
Yeah.
have an idea of what the song style is
Yeah.
gonna be, and try and go based off that.
Yeah.
But
Amazing, amazing. For aspiring editors, what advice do you have for honing their editing skills and developing a unique style?
so I'd say two things. You could go with two routes. You could go the one route of just do it different. Just try and be different from others, stand out in a way, not in a not in a bad way in the sense of like crazy,
Yeah.
weird, like bad effects.
Yeah.
But just edit in a way that you'd be like, oh, that's why would he do that? Because that'll make people wonder. But also, I'd say just edit based off of based off of the theme, the genre, the
Yeah.
video, and then from there.
It's really honestly, there really is no answer for this because like it's like everyone's like you just edit you just like play around with the clips, maybe watch like, oh, if you have like a specific like effect you want to do, like go on YouTube, like how do I do this effect,
Yeah, like
see how like looks.
you can develop your own color grading style.
Yeah,
Because a
okay.
lot of artists, they'll either be like super like dark, grungy.
Yeah.
Others will be super vibrant. So that is easy to like answer that question. But
Yeah.
in terms of the editing, it's way too, I think,
yeah, it's like
niche on whatever you're editing.
yeah.
And I think if you focus too much on getting a style, you're gonna get off track.
Yeah.
Just focus on making the product good. I'd
Right.
say like a story. Focus on creating a story throughout it.
Mhm.
One thing that I did, and like I have a few buddies who have been getting into filmmaking, and what I tell them for the edit, is, if I were to ask you why is this clip here,
Yeah.
you got to tell me why you put it there, as opposed to somewhere else.
Oh.
Like,
What if you say, oh, it just looks good? I just think it looks good. Like sometimes it's hard to explain because it's like it's just so intuitive. It's so like
I mean,
like,
yeah, see, that's fair, but it's also like, okay, it looks good,
yeah.
but it could have also looked good here. So you gotta
yeah.
you gotta have meaning behind where your clips go.
Mm.
So even if it's just something that's just like, oh, because it's a match cut that is similar colors or whatever.
Yeah.
But if a lot of people starting out, they'll just be like, okay, here, boom, 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 throw it, like piece it together because there's a bunch of clips that look good.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, if you just throw in a bunch of clips that look good, it'll just become like a compilation.
Okay.
But if you want to tell a story, you gotta have meaning behind it.
Okay. So you have to keep asking yourself like these why questions and like, yeah. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so now we're going to go into advice-related questions because I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know how to become as good as a creator as you are. So for aspiring filmmakers or content creators, what advice do you have on improving one's skills in photography, filmmaking, editing? Because you're also a photographer, right? I mean, do you think, so for filmmaking, you're a filmmaker, but then, okay, so you're a filmmaker, but then along with filmmaking, you kind of are also like a photographer. Like, do you feel like every filmmaker is also like a good photographer and they're good at everything and like, yeah, right?
I'd say, yeah, every filmmaker is a good photographer, but not every photographer is a good filmmaker.
Oh, yes, okay.
In the sense of like, because photography, it's basically just your composition.
Yeah.
And then you get creative with lighting
Uh-huh.
and like camera angles and stuff.
Yeah.
But you do all that in film too, but just
Mhm.
more at like a 3D scale somewhat.
Yeah.
So if you like, the principles correlate in that sense, but
Okay.
otherwise it doesn't really.
Okay.
So in terms of like advice, I'd say just do it.
do it, just literally just do
Right,
it.
like,
guys.
I started out in photography. That's how I got in. Like,
Really? You
Yeah.
started with photography? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Like me and my friends, we used to just walk around. Like we'd walk home from school.
Yeah.
Street photography, just taking photos of people. Just going on little trips, taking photos,
Yeah.
and then eventually that got into like, oh, okay, like, let me see about video sort of thing.
Whoa.
And yeah. So, but again, like you're not gonna progress. You don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? You can watch as many YouTube videos as you can, but you're not actually going to learn. That knowledge is going to stick
Mm-hmm.
if you're not applying it.
Yeah, and talking about like photography and filmmaking, because for me it was like the opposite. It was like first like videos, and then I was like, let me try photography. But do you think, okay, photography is like easier? I feel like it's easier to learn. Maybe it just depends on.
In the sense of like, there's a lot more that goes into film.
Yes.
So there's a lot more you got to like
Yes.
keep aware.
Yeah.
But it's to be a really good photographer and like stand out.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult.
It is very
Like
difficult.
it's easy to get into photography and like
Yeah.
just get some good shots and stuff like that, but to separate yourself and to like start, because again, photography in terms of like career paths, there's weddings, there's
Yeah.
sports, and then there's like modeling, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
like there's and like commercial, but there's not that many. Whereas film, there's so many different paths you can go down, which is great for just career wise, because you don't have to, you're not competing. Like photography is very oversaturated.
Okay.
Whereas film, it is oversaturated, but there's more
Yeah.
opportunities to get into. So
Yeah, and I feel like a film is also like so much more rewarding too. It's like you just take a photo, okay, and then you edit it. I guess some people like they put in a lot more effort, so they have like props, they have like all these effects. I've seen like on Instagram this like photographer who like with these even lightsaber.
Yeah,
Those like
yeah.
I see them like using all these
Oh,
cool
yeah, to go with
effects.
the orange
Yes,
pages?
yes,
Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah. So I guess like photography can be very like, but I feel like it just filming is just so much more fun in my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to someone like you're talking to filmmakers here. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So you would
what
also say,
what
like,
do you
filmmaking?
expect? Yeah,
Yeah.
I love filmmaking
Uh-huh.
because for the reasons you said.
Yeah.
You just get way more creative with it, and there's more to it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so like we said, like so being a full-time student and also running your own like and being like, would you say so? Is this like so you have your own production company, but would you say you're also like a freelancer kind of? Or what's like the difference because so you have Minty Productions and then you have like your own name like so Max Wentzlaff, like this is like freelance kind of work, yeah?
Yeah. So
Pretty much. Or
just recent. Well, I mean, back in like April,
yeah.
I had to become a business, like with
Okay.
the government, like a
Oh.
registered business.
So you read. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in order to like for the taxes and stuff,
Whoa,
because
okay,
you have to,
okay.
because like if you make over a certain amount, you need to
Mhm.
claim it and then pay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of brutal in that sense, but
Yeah.
it's great because you can kind of balance things. Like the stuff I buy, I can claim it as a business expense,
Uh-huh.
so it's like you save a bit of money
Wow,
and stuff.
oh, cool,
Like, there's
okay.
ways to. You gotta know. You gotta, and that's where like the business side of GBDA is great because you're kind of learning things like that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so Minty Productions isn't actually a registered business,
Okay.
but my name is.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Because the majority of my clients that are paying higher are the work that I do with my name. Whereas Minty Productions, I can either just invoice them under my name
Mhm.
or just get kind of paid under the table
Yeah.
if I can save
Yeah.
the tax.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so what was the question?
Oh yeah. So what advice do you have for individuals like considering starting their own like company, business while in school?
Yeah, okay. Don't start one if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna have to start paying taxes and it's kind of annoying. But in terms of starting your own like film business and reaching out to clients and that stuff is, I mean, that's what you would do anyways. Like again,
Yeah.
like you're like, I guess being in school, it does tie into things because it's gonna make the time a bit different, like more crunched and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you shouldn't let that have a big impact on.
I feel like people would like wait until they graduate to kind of go into that. They're like, oh, like school should be like my top priority. But also, like you said, if you kind of already know what you want to do, but then your parents are maybe saying, oh, you have to graduate with really good grades. That's maybe
Yeah.
that like,
I think at the end of the day, you just gotta realize like, okay, an employer, what are they gonna look at?
yeah.
Your portfolio or
Right,
your,
or their grades,
your
yeah.
grades, not your grades. So,
And with like filmmaking and all of that, like this is so portfolio based. It's crazy. Like they don't really look at like, your diploma. Like I mean, like okay, they would take someone who like you with a big portfolio over someone who like went
Oh yeah.
to like
Yeah.
just has like
Oh yeah.
like a little you just finished a global business digital arts like or you just finished like a because I know there's like film programs like in college
So
you
I
could
did-
do.
I'm not a
Yeah.
big advocate for a film degree
Okay.
in the sense of, so something like what a non-film degree gives you is somewhat of a backup plan to
Okay.
fall onto if film doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But it also just gives you like being a more diverse individual
Mhm.
in the sense of like creative and all that stuff is super like, I don't know what the word is, but like undervalued
Yeah.
in the sense of film students, all they do is film. It's great. You get crazy, like you'll get some good connections out of it. You'll get to work in like real world experience. Like it's great in that sense,
Mhm.
but it's nothing you could do on your own,
Mhm.
and you're paying a stupid amount. Like, film degrees are not cheap. I don't know if you look into that, but
Yeah, because I was thinking of like doing like film, like just in my mind, like I don't know if I will, but like film school, for example, in like Vancouver or
Oh yeah.
or like Toronto.
Yeah.
Like
They're expensive.
There's
Very
Vancouver is not a cheap city at all
No,
too.
no.
So
And a lot of the, and it's weird, it's funny too. A lot of the directors and people I work with didn't go to film school.
okay.
They either went to like one of the guys went to like law school, one guy went to
Wow.
business,
Yeah.
and a lot of them just didn't go to school.
Mhm.
So again, school's not going to get you anything if you're not. It all comes down to that same thing. You're not going to get stuff in this industry if you don't get the stuff yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good advice. Okay, so managing multiple roles requires effective time management. So what tips do you have for staying organized and ensuring productivity in a busy schedule? Because like tell me about like your day-to-day. So like you're on Stratford campus like wait three times or two?
Yeah,
3 times?
three-ish.
Like 3-ish, like sometimes you skip.
Yeah.
But like so yeah, what is your day like? Because like sometimes these like you just get like calls like out of nowhere, or do you like reach like just
Yeah. So you got to keep a nice, like a good schedule,
Okay.
like a good calendar.
Uh-huh.
I just use like my phone, like Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Whatever is great. I like the Apple one is not as good in my eyes.
Okay.
Keep a good schedule. You gotta wake up early. Like
How early do you wake up?
I get it
like,
depends,
depends,
but
yeah.
like 6 or 7.
Okay.
You just gotta wake up early and be willing. Like you're gonna be losing sleep.
Okay.
Like on school days.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, but you gotta wake up early, and that's what, like, if you can start your day off good, then that's what, like, plan your day the night before if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Just do all the things you can to stay as organized as possible, because, like you said, it can get pretty hectic and cluttered. But I don't know. It just comes down to having a plan,
Yeah.
and don't do things that you can't do,
Okay.
like time wise.
Okay, yeah, like because I feel like sometimes they like, you just like want to, like, you know, please so many different people. You want to give everyone these like, you want to do everything, but like sometimes it's hard because you also have to think about your own like mental health and like.
Yeah, like
So,
that's a real
just
problem.
Balance, yeah.
That's a real problem in that, because you want to do, like, that's something that I've faced a lot too, is especially in October was an insanely busy month for me, and like you got to have that shit up. Like I was not able to get out and like hang out with friends and stuff a lot because I was just inside just editing and all that stuff so much, which I mean I didn't really mind because I'm just like it's my business, I'm working on it, I'm doing like super cool stuff, but it's also like you gotta teach their own, right? It's like what's more important to you?
Yeah.
So, and I think for me, and just in order to have a successful business, you really gotta you gotta want to work. And
Yes.
spend as much as your time and energy into that.
Yeah.
And then on your free time, like I'll make time for just hanging out with people and stuff like that. But yeah, you got to just prioritize things.
Yeah, and especially for like the initial stages of like building a business, like it's you have to realize it's gonna be like hard. Do you think it's gonna get easier, or
No.
No.
No, unless you like hire someone to do things for you. But no, it's not gonna be. I mean, like
There's always gonna be obstacles.
There's always gonna be things coming up. You can get some
yeah.
clients on retainers, which would be nice because you have a consistent. Okay, you're gonna do this every single month, but you're always gonna like you might get a phone. I might get a phone call after this, being like, "We need this shoot." And then I thought my Christmas break was open, but not anymore. Like you never know what's gonna happen.
Wow. So it's very like unknown, and would you say it's all? Yeah, it's very like. Would you say it's very like, almost like, not risky, but very unpredictable? Like, cause what if you? I mean, are you confident you're always gonna find clients? Are you confident you're always gonna have like something to work on? Yeah. Like you're not nervous for that, or?
Yeah, I would say yes, because it's for the past while I have, but like I have like one thing booked for January.
Okay.
So
okay. So
you
you have
never
in
know.
advance. You have lots of things like already tried.
Well, I mean, normally you would want, but that's the thing. You can't expect to have things booked out like far ahead. A lot of times it'll be like a couple weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Unless you're actively reaching out to more people and trying to book them in the future.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a good and bad thing. It's bad because there's a lot of uncertainties involved, but it's a good thing because you're like you never know what's coming around the corner.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, it's a thrill.
This morning, like half an hour before I left today, I got a call to do a shoot tomorrow at like 4 a.m. So
at 4 a.m.
It's like a 10-hour day.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like you don't know what's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Which is great and bad, but I mean, I love it because
Okay.
you're constantly just waiting for something to happen and you
Yeah.
put yourself out there. But a lot of people, you would think they don't value your time, but people just, it's so last minute for everything.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's really overwhelming. And it's actually so, like, don't you get anxious sometimes? Like, or, like,
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not always like that, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you get people who will be like that,
Yeah.
but then those are more so like production companies I work with.
Okay.
They'll be like, yo, we need last minute, like an extra set of
Yeah.
hands
Yeah.
for that. But like my own clients, I'll obviously purposely book them farther in the future.
Okay.
Like music videos will be like, okay, you come to me now, it's not going to be for at least like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So do you like sacrifice those like projects over something else? So for example, if you had something else like planned on that day and you get like a last minute call for a shoot, do you like cancel that thing and you go for that because like you're gonna get paid for that for like
A lot of
So
times,
you
yeah.
sac-
A
you-
lot
yeah?
of times. And there's
So you
like,
can.
it depends on
Mhm.
how like
On what
important
this,
that is.
yeah.
But a lot of times I'll be like, yo, something came up last minute.
This is like,
It's not
this
gonna
is
work.
important. Yeah.
Or like, there's been times where I've canceled other shoots
oh.
for a better shoot, which is
Wow.
not good. But
Oh.
it's,
Okay.
but like I
Wow.
purposely double book myself
Yeah.
because I got offered a way better experience
Okay,
or opportunity,
okay.
and then I'll either outsource that work to someone else,
Yeah.
or I'll just be like, can we reschedule?
okay. Do you get like tired? Do you get burnt out? Did you ever like feel burnt out?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm kind of like always burnt out.
Yeah.
But when I'm not burnt out, I want to be burnt out. Like,
Okay.
It's weird. Like I'm like when I'm super busy,
Yeah.
I'm like I just wish I wasn't busy. And then as soon as I have like some free time, I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I
this
want to
is
be busy.
Okay.
So-
Whoa, the dilemma. Okay. Oh my God. Wait. So do you also do lots of all-nighters then? Because I saw this reel on Instagram where it's like, it was this funny reel where when you have to, editors like they. For some reason, they get this motivation to start like editing like late at night, like 2 a.m. Like this is when like you want to start like you're unproductive like all day, but then once like it's nighttime, you're
Yeah.
like grinding
I
away.
so I used to be super productive in the mornings.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's why I wake up early is because I used to be
Okay.
like from like super in the morning till noon.
Yeah.
That was when I'd get everything done. Now it's switched. Now it's in the evening and
Whoa,
like at
okay.
night for me.
Okay.
So like from like 8 p.m. till however late in the morning.
Wow. Uh-huh.
That is normally when I can focus the best.
Yeah.
But I don't pull all nighters.
That's good. Okay, if you don't have to. Well, because like for me, for example, like I would never pull an all-nighter for school, but for videos, easily. I'm honestly, it's fun because doesn't time fly by? Like time is crazy.
But that's
like
the
you
problem.
just
You gotta like sleep is very important,
Yeah.
especially if
Yeah.
you're already like super like all over the place during the day.
True.
You gotta sleep. So
okay. So you prioritize sleep. That's good.
I
okay.
try to, yeah,
Okay.
but I mean,
Sometimes you gotta
Sometimes-
sacrifice
yeah,
your
sometimes it
sleep for
doesn't
these
happen.
projects. Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay, so reflect on your journey. How do you think you've grown as a creative individual?
In like what sense?
In, I guess we could say in like, as a filmmaker, because you're a director, a filmmaker, you're like a photographer, editor. Do you feel like you've seen this? Like, can you measure your have you seen like? Are you really proud of like the progress and how far you've come?
Yeah. I think people think I'm better than I am.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
Like if you see what
Huh.
goes into it, super like improv of what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing a lot of the time.
Okay.
Like just this past year I've started to from having that experience working with these production companies it's just completely changed me and it's made me an insanely better filmmaker just because it's taught me to really think things out and to
Okay.
plan ahead and have all that stuff. But even like a lot of the time,
Before that, it was just honestly improv. It's like I feel like maybe because some people are just like naturally like talent. Like I guess that's just your talent. Like
I don't think that's
No?
not me though.
No.
I don't think so. I think like even now, like I said earlier, like, I'll put the stuff in the timeline.
Yeah.
But when I get to the shoot, I'll be like, I don't want to do this anymore,
Yeah,
and I'll do
okay.
something else, and I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have
Yeah.
done that, or something
Yeah.
like it's always like I feel like I'm able to produce good content,
Yeah.
but it's always like people think it's way better than
It-
I think it is.
Like, does it come easy to you though? Like,
No,
no.
I think it's becoming easier.
Yeah.
And like I
easier.
now know the principles and like I can get creative. Once you kind of trust yourself,
Yeah.
then that's when you produce better work because you're just like, okay, I don't I'm not worried about doing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
But even now, like a lot of times, I do not know what I'm doing. I show up to stuff. Like there's some of the shoots I'll show up to, I don't even have the opportunity to pre-production, and I just show up with my camera and just hope something's good is gonna come out of it.
And I think that's like, now you saying that, I think that's very comforting for people to hear, because looking at you, like I'd expect you like to know what you're doing, like you know what you're doing, but you're saying that sometimes you don't even know what you're doing. So even like very like skilled like filmmakers like yourself, like sometimes you don't even like.
No one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, no one knows what they're doing. Yeah, they're just.
They know how to not know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, like don't worry about it. It's just all like a learning process. Yeah. Okay, last section we're going to talk about is the questions about future aspirations. I just want to know what your future is going to look like. So how do you envision the future growth and evolution of, Minty Productions, but more so you're going into more just your established name, right? So like, are there any like specific goals or milestones you're aiming to achieve with like your company, with your own?
Not really.
No,
I just
really?
want to keep doing what I'm doing, but again, like at I guess a higher scale, maybe.
Just keep like
Like for Minty Productions, the end goal, or like the goal would have been to become that Lyrical Lemonade, like does all the famous artists in Canada and just music videos is my main thing. That would be like amazing main goal. Like I'd love to do that, but there's too many uncertainties, and I don't want to limit myself to one thing. So that's why I don't know. But I know that I just want to keep doing what I'm doing now.
Okay, you don't. Yeah, if you want to, that's good. Are there any new? Okay, well, you already kind of talked about like the genres and industries you're interested in exploring. Kind of, yeah. So just like try everything.
Just trying
everything.
Yeah, like if I had advice to anyone, just try everything.
Yeah.
Even if you think you might not really like this like industry, working in this industry, like you never know.
But again, like, and that's also good, because if you don't like it, but you somewhat have to do it, it'll make you figure out a way to make it so you not like it, but like that you can make it good.
Yeah, that's like a challenge, like trying to find an industry where it's like, because like for my co-op next time, like for my next co-op, I'm gonna be working at this like industrial automation, like a factory where they build like machines, and like I've never filmed content like that, and like I'm nervous for that, like for me it's like that seems so boring, but that's a challenge, like trying to find something.
How can you make it not boring?
Exactly.
So that's like my goal for like filmmaking moving forward, like learning how to like make something boring like into something crazy. Are there any filmmakers or artists you want to collaborate in the future? Like your favorite? Anyone?
Anyone
famous, like anyone like crazy famous that you want to you'd love to.
Well, I guess that direct, like the Lyrical Lemonade guy, Cole Bennett. I'd love to collaborate with him.
Okay.
But you like to collaborate, like you take that chance to collaborate with anyone.
No, I love and like even just having extra people there, even if like we're not collaborating, but it's like, you want to call on a shoot?
Yeah.
Just love like that, just because I don't know. I love helping people and like teaching people and all that stuff. Like that's one of the reasons too why I'm in school. It's because I could maybe see myself down the road becoming like a teacher, a film teacher, or whatever. And you need a university degree to do that.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just love helping others, and everyone like in the business, like you need like working with others is how people like learn things and progress. So if anyone like just it's just great.
I would also agree that like when you teach others, like it's just you can learn so much by like just teaching others. You just that's like amazing. So do you see yourself staying and growing your life as a filmmaker in Ontario or Canada, or would you like to keep pursuing this passion and move somewhere else? Like BC, for example, like I don't know, like Vancouver is just one example. Like there's so many like film, like there's just so many like opportunities there, or like California, US. Like
okay, so I guess so. Our grandparents out in Vancouver.
Okay.
So and I go out there every year. Like I love Vancouver. If I could live anywhere in Canada, it would be
where in Vancouver?
BC. Like where do they live?
Yeah, like where?
They live in like the Delta, like Ladner.
Oh, okay.
So I mean. Anywhere in Vancouver, there's mountains and stuff. It's great. I love that sort of stuff. But in terms of the industry, you'd said that Vancouver is where it is.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
It's not, okay.
That's where I guess like the movie heavy side of thing is. But it's actually in Hamilton.
Hamilton?
You wouldn't think that. But
wait, Hamilton, like Canada. Wait, Ontario. No.
Like all the Netflix studios.
Whoa.
If there's a Canadian Netflix show and they built like a set for it, it's in Hamilton.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like Star Trek, that was in Hamilton.
Star Trek.
And like That one chess one.
Oh, Queen's Gambit?
Yeah, Queen's Gambit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the majority of the industry is in Hamilton, and then there's the corporate side of things, which is like commercials and stuff. That's Toronto.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
But then
Toronto,
movies, I guess, is Vancouver. But
Okay.
In my case, movies doesn't really interest me.
Okay,
So,
okay. What about like in the U.S., like anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere in the U.S. is great.
Anywhere
for
in the
that.
US? Okay.
But I don't know. I don't really want to go down there.
Okay, so you like Canada.
I like Canada. Yeah,
okay,
I like Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd go down there for work, but I wouldn't live there.
Okay. And then, so I guess I was gonna ask like, what do you want to do after you graduate from GBDA? But continue doing what you're doing, just like progressing. Yeah. Okay, so beyond filmmaking, are there any other creative mediums you'd like to explore in the future? Like any like.
Well, I used to produce music,
Okay.
and I still love to do that.
Yeah.
I rarely have time to do it,
Uh-huh.
but I have a few friends who are like that's what they want to do in life, and it's great because at our campus in Stratford there's a sound production studio.
Mm-hmm.
So in between classes we'll go there and we'll make music and stuff. So that's like our time to like really get creative with that.
Yeah.
So if I had the time in the future, I'd love to get back into music
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I guess in this industry, although it's just film, you kind of have influence in every industry.
Yeah.
Like I'll do graphic design to make a logo to put in a video, for example, or I have to build a website for myself, or you have to draw up story. Like you kind of have all access to all of the somewhat creative things.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I guess there's no real one. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty locked in on film right now.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, wait. So I this last question about networking. So you recently worked with you did this video with a production company. Yeah? You were the grip. You were the grip.
Yeah.
So you said that you had to like, so you reached out to them and then they like reached out a while back. Yeah. So like, how was that like working with like that? Yeah. How's that?
Was it working with them or like how did I?
Yeah. First, how did you get that? Like.
Okay. So.
And then.
It's easier than you would think in the sense of, again, you just gotta ask. I mean, like that's what everyone wants to hear. But the way I did it is I kind of approached it differently.
Okay.
Most people would go at it just be like, "Hey, I'm into film.
Yes.
Can I work on your set?"
Yeah.
But I did it is, "Hey, I already somewhat do film. Can I get some advice?" And then because they're more likely to meet up with you if there's it's just this kid, he's interested in film, he just wants to like hear our perspective on things rather than I want to work for you guys, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you just meet, because the biggest thing is just meeting up with them.
Okay.
If you can, once you can get face to face with them or even a phone call, like that was end of COVID, so we did a video chat. But getting face to face is the biggest thing because once they can see and talk to you, then you're much more likely to work together.
Okay.
But a lot of people, they don't even get that opportunity because they approach it wrong.
Oh.
So yeah, so you gotta approach it in the sense of just wanting to learn things.
Yes.
And
Okay.
just, I love what you're doing.
Okay.
Like, can you? I'd
Yes.
just love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And then from there, we met up. We had coffee and we talked. And then it was funny. So this was a local production company called Digital Sabbath,
Okay.
and at the time, they were big on DaVinci Resolve.
Okay.
And I noted that, I do DaVinci Resolve. And they're like, oh, we have some editing things that we may want someone else to do.
Yeah.
So then that was my kind of in. They're like, oh, here, edit this like super small, like super easy commercial. It was more so just to see what I'm capable of. And then from there, they just had me as a PA on set, which is a production assistant,
Okay.
which is, I just stood there. I like set up light stands.
Yeah. Oh.
I was kind of like the guy to help out.
Yeah.
And then from there, you kind of, now they kind of knew of me. They knew that I can somewhat do stuff. I have a passion for it. And then started bringing me out more. And then other people saw me working for them. And then I reached out to more people. And then like, oh, you worked with them? Oh, that's great. We're best friends. And then let me get you on my set. And then you just hop from set to set to set, meet new people, meet new directors. And then people just, I get calls a lot wanting to be like a assistant or whatever on set, which is fun. And you do all these crazy things. That doesn't, like, that's not what I see myself doing in the long run. Like I'd rather work for myself than others.
Okay.
But in terms of getting experience, it's wild.
Okay, about that, because I feel like it would be so fun for me to try too, because like so far I've just been doing like lots of like solo things, and even with my co-ops, like my first co-op, I was the one like doing all the, I didn't really have any like filmmakers or like better like videographers that I could look up to, and like for this next co-op, I'm also gonna be the only videographer on the team, so again, like, yeah, like it's nice like you're able to like work and with like others and see how they're doing it. I feel like that would be really fun to do. Amazing.
Yeah, no, like anyone who's actually serious about getting into film,
Try
and work with the production.
Even if you're just like you said, even if you're just like standing there, like I'd love to just watch too. Just being on the set, like that's so.
It doesn't have to even be paid. Just ask if you can I just watch you guys?
Yeah, because I want to learn. I'm like curious about it. They love people who are curious. Yeah, and also about the networking tip you gave. Like I think that's actually so good, because a lot of people, even when I approach like networking, I always thought like, oh, I just have to like kind of say, oh hi, so this is what I'm interested in. Like I'd love. Do you have any opportunities? But no, the networking technique you gave, I feel like it's so much better. Don't even say that you want to, like, you want this opportunity, like this position. Just say like, oh, I'm like interested in like learning about you guys, and like,
because at the end of the day, they know you're just trying to get
exactly.
work.
They know.
But,
they can. Yeah.
But just being
comes across
showing
a
that
little
you're
bit,
authentic and that you actually want to learn, and you're not just like, ooh, I just want to get into film.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. It's just, it shows them, like, if someone comes to me and say, just put me on your film set or whatever, it's like, okay, versus someone who's super passionate about it and wants to learn, then it's way more. But again, at the end of the day, in the film world, everyone wants to help everyone. So
exactly.
The likelihood of you not finding someone to work with is very slim.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's just like the extra stuff, like trying to find ways to like stand out and all. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Amazing. So, this was such an inspiring conversation, Max. We definitely stirred passion and sipped innovation. I learned so much from our conversation, and I'm looking forward to implement the advice you gave into my own work. So, thank you once again. I want to start off by ending all my episodes with a final question, not related to topic, but just a fun question. Okay, so this one is, if the worst aspect of your personality was amplified to an extreme, what kind of person would you be?
Oh, okay.
I know that's like the worst aspect of your personality. What would you say a worst aspect of your personality would be?
I feel like I'm not the right person to answer this question. I feel like someone else should know my worst aspects. But,
oh yeah, sure. Like, are you like, for example, like, are you like perfectionist or like anything?
Okay.
Like
Here you go. I guess going back to the thing I said earlier is that like I cannot, like, I have a super hard time saying no.
Yes, exactly. That's good.
I get put in this. I put myself into scenarios where I'm like, oh god, I would rather have not done this. Even like so, and that's something I'm trying to work on too. Is you got to know, like, somewhat be assertive in the sense of know how to say no, know when to say no, and know that it's okay to say no. So.
Okay, so if this is amplified, then you just be saying yes to everything.
I just be a super friendly guy.
Yeah. But then at the end of the day, that would have like really just like.
It wouldn't let me do what I want to be.
Literally, yes. This is a good answer. That's a good for me. Okay.
I don't know if it's the right answer.
No, this is the exact
answer. Yeah, for me, I would say, I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like I feel like I get very paranoid easily, and like I look at things like very negatively at times. So I feel like if that was amplified, then I'd just be super paranoid about everything, and I would not want to.
Yeah. Well, in the film industry, that's like very true. Even now, a lot of my work I don't like. So I could definitely see that, how you can get really paranoid about, I'm not doing.
Right. And also this like, what is this called? You're not good. Like, imposter syndrome. Do you ever get imposter syndrome?
Yes.
Like, yeah? Like, especially if you get like these really cool like projects, like, wow, do I like even deserve this? Like, do I don't know.
Oh yeah. Especially too when you're like in the pre-production phase, you're seeing like, oh, this is what I want it to look like, and it's like, that did not look like it.
But then other people think it's like amazing. They're like, I don't get what you're saying. It's perfect.
Yeah. So like, you just can't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You just got to be confident in your own work.
It sucks because like I feel like we put like such high expectations because like we've been doing it for so long.
Because we're comparing ourselves to people who are way better than us.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously you're not going to be as good as the top director in the world, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be like you just gotta look back. Just be like, okay, a year ago or like 2 or whatever, however long ago, if I had the opportunities and I was producing the content that I'm right now back then, I'd be blown away.
Yeah.
So although right now you might be like, oh, it's not going well.
And exactly, and plus it's better than doing nothing. Like so many people say they want to start something, but they never do it because they're just scared. At least like you're actually doing something, you know? Yeah, you're getting us out there. Amazing. Okay, so yes, this wraps up our 4th episode finally, and then I just want to say, yeah, until next time, thank you so much. Bye. We did it.